I'd like to start by saying thank you all for coming, even though the weather is terrible. I'd also like to start by thanking our partners. Thanks to today, we have IFC, we have the Sensi Hub, Stats SL, and also NNA. Today wouldn't have happened without all of their great help and support. As I speak to you today, I'd like to talk to you about two things in particular. One is purpose, and the second is people. To start by explaining purpose, I should probably explain our vision at DSTI. At DSTI, we have 4 pillars. The first pillar is service delivery and citizen engagement. The second pillar, data, systems, and technological design. The third pillar, ecosystem strengthening. And the fourth pillar, data for decision making. We are excited to partner with everyone here today on the Disclosure to Development, or D2D project, as it's affectionately known, which supports the use of data for governance. Although aligned with all 4 pillars, today is extremely important because of the ecosystem strengthening component. That basically means we want to look at investment in our young people and the development of human capital. Sierra Leone's National Innovation and Digitization Strategy seeks to use artificial intelligence to support natural resource governance, and to quote the strategy itself, it asks to seek and monitor the status and impact of social and environmental interventions to better manage natural resources that contribute to national wealth. Again, to put it simply, it's about making sure that Sierra Leoneans have the money needed to develop this country. D2D will support the SDI and the government in using data and digital technology to strengthen governance in the natural resource sector. This project is important as through these local innovation hubs, as the one we're in today, we believe that you'll be able to increase wealth, increase opportunity for our young people and the young entrepreneurs I see before us here today. We cannot wait to see the innovative solutions that you come up with. We're excited to see it, and I know the team are also looking forward to supporting you. Please take the opportunities presented today and take ownership over finding the solutions for our people. The journey for you becoming a leader, an influencer, and an owner of an often neglected resource in our own communities, that resource being data, starts today. I encourage you, move from eyesight to insight. The skills you learn today are not just about helping your community by coming up with practical solutions, but it's also about helping you find the ability to make money and generate successful businesses. At DSTI, we have a saying, you are the ones that Sierra Leone has been waiting for. My name is Kahil Ali, and I represent the Director of Science, Technology, and Innovation. I am the Head of Human Capital Development, or the Human Capital Development Incubator, and so I'm just supporting our team who've been working really hard with IFC, Sensi Hub, and other partners to deliver on this project. I think it's important on 2 levels. First of all, it's important for the future. Young people need to know that they have an ownership over what is happening in Sierra Leone in the future. The average age of this country is 19.4 years old. If we don't engage the youth now, if they are not focused and part of the solution for Sierra Leone, it's going to be a big problem. It's exciting being here. As you said, it's also extremely important because people who are parts of the communities themselves are coming up with solutions to improve their own communities. It's very exciting.
Good morning, everyone. We believe pictures speak 1,000 words, so I think I have 12 pictures. So that will translate to 12,000 words, isn't it? The D2D project is particularly important to us at the NMA for obvious reasons. This is an age-old problem in Sierra Leone. We believe in this and we trust this a lot. This is what we know. Fast forward to that, everybody is a database guru. We have data all over the place, on our smartphones, of course, on our personal computers, on our work desktop, back in the offices. And even when the ICT people try as much as possible to say, let us organize ourselves a little bit, we're still not willing. So most times you have the ICT people organize folders on work servers and ask people, please just take what you have on your computer, put them there, so when you're not in, others can access it. But sometimes it's a major challenge. At the NMA, this is our vision. We don't only want to store such data on our servers back in the office, but to actually process those data. My colleagues spoke passionately about what the PSTI is doing, what their mandate is, and what their vision is for the country. We are in sync with DSTI on this, and that is why we are partnering with DSTI and IFC for this project. So what we are doing at the NMA is not only to have those, but also to prepare such data, analyze them, visualize, publish them, and of course make them available to the wider public. For that reason, when we had a new management of change of leadership in 2019, we sat together to put forward our strategic plan. Two goals of the strategic plan I will talk about here, and how that is important to why we are here today. The second of the 5 goal strategic plan is actually increase geoscientific information and knowledge to facilitate and nurture human resources and skills transformation. We are passionate about this. We want to make sure entrepreneurs like you have the relevant data and geoscientific information so that you can use them to make business solutions. And that is why we are passionate about this project. We have instituted cloud-based solutions whereby we have started working on data-centric, information-centric applications. But of course, partnering with you will go a very long way in delivering our mandate. Currently, as I speak, that infrastructure hosts the Geoscience Data Portal. What the Geoscience Data Portal is? Well, most of us saw some yellow planes flying low, some nearly 2 years ago. They collected meaningful strategic data for the mineral sector in this country. Where are we going to put those on local computers? What about incidents of fire? What do we do? Such a national asset. We have it, we have hosted it in a very secured environment and provided part of that data as open data for people like you. Again, that system, the Enterprise Geoscientific Information Management System, is a system of systems. It's not just one thing. It's meant for a lot of things. What if I can go somewhere around Sierra Leone and look at a place of interest and I want to know how many schools, how many hospitals, how many police stations, there is a spillage somewhere, I want to know communities affected. This platform is a platform for all of us. It's open, it's on the NMA website. You can use it, you create your own map, you put your own data there, you run your own queries, you run your own analysis, and you create your own map, you become a DI specialist overnight. What we have also done so far with that platform, we have started opening up some of the mining-related data in the form of simple interactive dashboards for your consumption. Added to that, our colleagues used to go out in the field to collect data based on paper-based forms. Today, some of those applications I just talked about are feeding on data collected with smart electronic forms with our colleagues in the field. But that's not really a novelty idea. What's the fascinating thing is, when they come back from the field, they don't have to write a single report. What you see on the right is a well-formatted report that can run up to 25, 30 pages, which our colleagues don't really have to write anything about. So they come home, they rest, they go back to the office, there's a report waiting for them. So why are we passionate about this project? It's because of growth form. And that is where we are partnering exactly with IFC on this project to ensure that we have empowered Sierra Leoneans and enhanced communication to increase public awareness and participation. At the NMA, we believe in what we do, but without participation from the public, without involving members of the public, our work is meaningless. So that is why we are very passionate about this project. We take this project very lightly. It is a long-lasting relationship which we are establishing with our colleagues at the DSTI, who are really working hard to make impact, in the innovative and technological world we live in. So I'm thankful that we have you all here. I know the next few days, of course, is going to be challenging, but be rest assured that Sierra Leone has the brains like you, and of course, we are here to support you. In the next coming days, of course, months or so, we'll be publishing lots of data sets out there, particularly in open data standards format, so that you, young entrepreneurs who have chosen technology and innovation to create solutions over drugs, I think we must be proud of you. Young entrepreneurs, we're proud of you. Thank you.
I'm Emmanuel B. Lansana, the Director of Technology and Information Management, representing the National Minerals Agency. We have been working with IFC on the D2D project. D2D itself is disclosure to development, and basically what that means is how we take data, especially within the mining sector, open that up to trigger economic development. So we are partnering with IFC, the International Finance Corporation, which is a branch of the World Bank, and of course, together with DSTI, the Directorate of Science, Technology and Innovation, and then working on this project to host the mining hub. Sierra Leone, our youth, things about the youth is characterized by drug abuse and other stuff, violence, etc., etc. So to see people taking advantage of technological advancements to actually grow for solutions that would benefit their communities, I think to us at the National Minerals Agency is a very serious thing. And that's why we see this project as an opportunity, that really sinks in with our own philosophy back in the institution to work with young people and promote them, to help them to achieve this. I think it's a lot of advantage.
On behalf of the IFC, I would like to welcome you all to the Mining Community Innovation Challenge, the hackathon. And I would like to start by acknowledging the government organizing partners, the Directorate of Science and Technology, DSTI, and also the NMA in organizing this event, but not just this event, for the entire D2D program that we're implementing here in Sierra Leone, especially for young entrepreneurs. We want to say thank you to all of you, for coming. We know you actually came across Sierra Leone, not just in Freetown, but you came from many communities, including Omusar, Ubutai, and then many other communities, Bo, Kenema, Kono. So it is especially encouraging to see so many young women among the participants. For IFC, gender is one of our priority areas. It's very, very important, and we know that we need to make the digital space more attractive so that it can continue to attract more young women. So we're so happy to see all of you here this morning. So now, the hackathon actually aligns with the themes of this year's United Nations International Youth Day. And we know the theme was International Solidarity, creating a world for all ages. So which took place really in August, and it's a shame because this hackathon was originally planned for August, but by then we had the violent protest, that happened in Sierra Leone that actually affected us, and then we had to postpone the event to today. So IFC, as the private sector arm of the World Bank Group, so if you're really not familiar with the International Finance Corporation, we are the private sector arm of the World Bank Group, and we have been in Sierra Leone. We have 3 priority sectors in Sierra Leone we're working on right now. We have in the energy, the mining sector, and the agribusiness sector, and we've been very active in all of the sectors, plus other sectors that we're also doing some work. But these 3 sectors are the priority sectors for IFC because we think Sierra Leone has so much potential, within the mining, the agribusiness, and energy is really essential, cross-cutting, across all of the sectors, that needs to develop in this country. So the D2D program is a global initiative that helps government and companies to improve data sharing and use best practices to enhance engagement with mining communities, which already has been explained by the first two speakers. So I think the importance of the D2D program is very, very crucial. So mining communities in Sierra Leone, we know, face complex challenges. I'm privileged of recent time to be visiting a lot of communities within Wutai, so I have first-hand experience with some of the challenges that these mining communities are facing. Complex social problems, things like poverty, lack of health care, lack of education, limited economic opportunities, especially for women and youth. These are the two really vulnerable groups that have been impacted by the vulnerability of these mining communities in Sierra Leone. So we know, of course, there are other challenges like mining safety and even environmental issues like environmental degradation. These are also very significant concerns to IFC. And the root cause of all of this is really lack of information about mining. We can agree with me that people really don't have information about the revenue flows to mining communities and how these revenues are being used. And then the D2D Sierra Leone project is designed to address this lack of information, to increase the flow of natural resource data, and to enhance digital data analysis capabilities. And we hope that this will also catalyze investment of innovative data-driven solutions to the issues faced by residents of these mining communities. We know there are many, many residents within these mining communities that are suffering, and data could be one of the way out of the challenges we face right now. So as IFC, we're very delighted to see you all, this morning, and we are so happy that we've actually been able to come here together to see how we can use data to address these challenges. So it is our pleasure to support you, the youth, the private sector, the digital development and mining communities through this hackathon. And I wish you successful 3 days in working together, innovating, using various data sources, generating ideas, solving challenges faced by mining communities, and most importantly, we really like you to have fun while you're here for these 3 days. So I hope that this data competition will provide opportunities for you to improve digital skills that are increasingly essential for jobs, to build networks, and to learn business skills. So I thank you all very much.
My name is William Conte, and I'm representing the International Finance Corporation. Part of the country team, but I'm here representing the country representatives for the IFC. IFC in Sierra Leone, we have 3 priority areas, and one of those priorities is the mining sector, because we think the mining sector is significant to the economy. It makes some significant economic contribution. And if you observe even from the opening, it's mentioned that young people have some key role to play, because if we must have development, then we must have what we call inclusivity, but also must have sustainability. And for it to be sustainable, ownership is crucial. So young people coming up with solutions to some of the challenges within these mining communities is the best way to make it sustainable, because they take ownership for the solutions, and we believe over time these solutions will be really addressed.
I bring you warm greetings from the Sierra Leone News Agency. We are very pleased to be part of the Mining Community Innovation Challenge Hackathon, and it is indeed a special day for open data. Following our collective collaboration with several national and international partners, including the World Bank, which has yielded a defining partnership, a data infrastructure, and evidence required for collaborative action. I have been following the build-up and conversations around the hackathon, and I'm indeed hopeful that these strides by the International Finance Corporation and partners will provide solutions to real Sierra Leonean challenges and has the potential of being leveraged for a longer-term strengthening of the national statistical system, as well as the mining community, to further the development agenda. Friends, Sierra Leone is always proud to state its significant strides towards establishing the needed institutional and legal frameworks for a comprehensive open data initiative, and with progress made in pushing on the boundaries for a data revolution. So we have an open data portal, which is housed by the Ministry of Information and Communication. And that is the open data portal 2. We had an open data portal 1 before this is the second one. We've also rolled out trainings in open data skills in collaboration with organizations such as MCIC of public officials, including records management officers. And Dr. Barr can attest to that. These provided knowledge and skills, capacity relevant to open data, harmonization of records management, and the provision of ICT equipment for 5 pilot MDAs. Unfortunately, the Ministry of Mineral Resources was not part of it. These projects also established 4 pilot regional open data centers to improve free access to information for the citizen. Subsequently, the World Bank again, IFC must be proud, supported the Ministry of Information and Communication to overhaul, like I said, the first open data portal to respond to the needs of the citizens. And several other achievements that time will not allow me to highlight are great efforts we have made over time to ensure some better coordination of our data ecosystems. Developments made on our national priorities aligned with the SDGs, as well as providing better access to data and information for our citizens. It is our hope at the Open Data Council that the various institutions present here today and co-hosting this laudable event will take cognizance of the foundation that has been laid and work together to build on it for the sustainable development of our country. We aim to empower journalists and civil society with the skills needed to find and use meaningful data and craft it into messages and compelling stories that elicit action. Let me end by thanking the International Finance Corporation for this laudable initiative and for supporting Sierra Leone. I also want to thank all its supporting partners and collaborators, including the BHP Foundation, Directorate of Science, Technology and Innovation, National Minerals Agency, and Sensi Hub, amongst others, for rolling out the Mining Community Innovation Challenge Hackathon. I want to strongly appeal that we continue to work together to ensure that the open data infrastructure is improved upon to offer the expected benefits to our nation. Thank you all.
Nice to meet everybody. I'm going to try and focus on the young people because they are the future, and so that's where my focus is going to be. I'll tell a bit about my story, then I'll talk about what I think is possible in Sierra Leone. I'm here permanently now for like 8 years, so I can now talk about what I think is possible in Sierra Leone and try and relate it to the mining communities. Okay, I finished university. I had no money. I had nothing. I didn't study computing. I studied manufacturing. But I realized I had no money. I couldn't set up a factory, which is really what I was trained to do. And so I was stuck in my bedroom in my parents' house. My parents didn't even work. I'm Ghanaian. My parents didn't even work in Ghana. So there's nobody in the house except me. And I realized I was broke. I needed money. And I had a computer. So to my mind, this is the kind of thinking that I'll encourage the young people to do. To my mind, the computer was a factory and it could make software. Just when I was about to do the demonstration of what I had done in London for the African agent, he said, oh, somebody spoke to him and he came back to me and said, don't touch the computer. You have to promise me one thing. You will not put any bacteria in the computer. You know what he meant? Viruses. He said, don't put bacteria. I said, I promise I won't put bacteria. But I demonstrated to him what I had done. He was so blown away. He said, oh, it's only one problem. This is suited to the UK travel market, not the Ghana travel market. I said, I can modify it. He said, okay, I don't believe you, but go ahead and modify. I said, don't go, wait. I had the programming environment. I made a modification, change this to that, change that to that. Boom. What? You did this? He shouted to the company, you can do it. Everybody ran to me. Accounts, can you do this for us? HR, can you do that? That was my first contract. Everybody wait, let's negotiate. That was my first contract. It was $800. It was big money. I was spending that money for 6 months. It was in 1991. So this is the kind of approach. You don't need to be in a big organization. You can do things yourself. And don't forget, in our time, and by the way, I'll just conclude. So with that, we started doing all the travel agencies. Then we moved to the shops. Then we moved to the big industries. Then we started doing payroll for the big organizations. Then we started going international, working in Nigeria. In fact, my company won the payroll contract for Sierra Leone. And then that January thing happened. I'm holding the contract in my hand. And then I was ready to jump on the plane. I got a call from my bro, like, do you know what's happening in Freetown? So we became the biggest software operation in Ghana, started getting a lot of international press, etc., etc. And note, in our time, there was no internet. So things were a lot harder. Fewer people had computers. There were no mobile phones. There was nothing like an app. So I'm a little jealous of the kids today because the infrastructure already exists. If you come up with a good idea, it is possible to implement it. The people, even in the villages, have phones. So you can now deploy products on the phones. So I will give you an example of the kind of product that we developed in Ghana, which works on phones. Africanized products. Don't copy something that's been done in the West. We have our own challenges. If you think through it, you'll be the best person to come up with the idea for the local thing. To conclude, I'll just describe one of our products that we sell in Ghana. It's called Hejilo. And Tina Salomidi. Hejilo means Etif man or Bangele or something like that. Now, this is how it works. We modeled this in our office one afternoon and deployed it within a month and started selling. And we sold thousands. Basically, $10 a month. There's a bit of crime in Ghana, more than Sierra Leone. So what we did was, you pay $10 a month, we register you. If a thief comes to your house, and you start hearing some noises in the middle of the night, a lady in the house, you are alone, you're not feeling comfortable, you grab your phone, you flash our number. You don't even have to call, just flash it once. The system picks up that Aminata is in distress. It is Aminata who lives at number 31 Spur Road. Because you are on our database when we registered you. It sends you a message back saying, acknowledged, we've heard you. Then the next thing it does is that it fires messages to 10 of your friends and neighbors. So they will immediately know that there's something happening in your house. And in Africa, you know what happens. If managed people start jumping the wall, people at the gate, plenty of confusion, dogs are barking, and so on. Nobody can create a robbery in that kind of environment. So that's line one. Line two, we cut a deal with the radio stations. They then start announcing, anybody in the area, house number so-and-so, there seems to be an incident. If you're in the area, go and help them. Okay, that's number two. Number three, we cut a deal with a private security company. They are coming, a man and a dog, a couple of men and a dog, in a pickup. Then we cut a deal with the police. In case there's a shootout, the police are allowed to shoot. So the police are coming. Then we also added a line where we got a drone division in our company. So as soon as this happens, we have a GPS of your house. A drone comes and starts taking footage in case we need to go to court. And nobody can be robbing a house and see some drone flying over and filming the whole thing and that kind of thing. So this is the kind of products we're talking about. This is not the kind of products you will find anywhere in the world except Africa. You have to have lived in Africa to understand that if you tell 10 people, they'll come and yell thief, 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 and the crime will stop, and that kind of thing. And I think I'll finish here. If there are any questions, maybe afterwards, answer some questions. But just to give you an idea of the kind of innovation that is required for our part of the world, and anybody can do it. You don't have to be a computer expert. You don't have to be a guru programmer. Sierra Leone is full of opportunities. I see them every day. I'm just older now. If I was younger, I'll make millions here. Thank you.
My name is Herman Chidrihesi, chairman of SoftDrive. It's a software company. I came to give the keynote speech. Absolutely critical in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a mining country, very rich in mineral resources. It's very important these resources are managed well. If they're not managed well, we end up with the Ghana situation where our water bodies are all polluted because of chemicals from mining. For these reasons, we need to do a lot of monitoring and evaluation. Also for replanting, after mining has been done, we need to GPS the trees, make sure they are growing, make sure we restore the environment back to what it was after making the money from the mining. Even monitoring how much money is going and how much money we should be receiving from the mining. All these require technologies, all these require IT, and a lot of apps to control the soil quality and impact on the health of the locals, etc. These kinds of things. Very important for Sierra Leone.
Good morning to you and welcome. It's a real pleasure for me and us who work in office and rarely see people, young people, to be here today and to discuss with you. I will present our programs, a few examples, and give you ideas of what you could do to bring it further using the data technology and over the 3 days, that's what you will be asked to bring forward. So I'm, as they told you, my name is Marie-Joséphine Saint-Guillaume, and I'm the project manager of the Regional Resource Governance Program in West Africa. This is a regional program and I lead the Sierra Leone component. So what is the broad objective of our program? We work in the country of the Mano River Union, and we want the mining sector of the Mano River Union to be geared towards the principle of sustainability. Sustainability on the economic side, social side, and environment. So we work in 4 areas. So we are a multi-stakeholder program. We work with the government, and actually NMA is one of our close partners. We work with civil society. I was telling my colleague here that we work with an organization called WOME, Women for Mining and Extractive. We also work with Campaign for Good Governance and NGD, Network Movements of Social Justice and Development. And we work with, not maybe in Sierra Leone, but in other countries with the private sector, so mining companies.
My name is Glenda Christy Macaulay. I'm representing the Directorate of Science, Technology, and Innovation. Well, I'm here this morning as a mentor from the STI. So basically, I'm the lead data scientist at the STI. I and my team are here to provide mentorship to the applicant on their solution. So we will be able to supervising them, helping them in their data analysis, helping them how to generate data, collect the data, work with the data, so they can be able to build their tech solutions from the data available. This is very, very important. I just cannot emphasize more. It's important, and I'm excited because we are targeting young people, and also not just young people, but also considering gender equality. So we're making it very open for women as well as men to be involved in this, and also involving the young minds, involving the young folks will generate more ideas, because I guess young people are much more involved in communities. Young people are much more engaged, so they know, so they feel the problems, the needs firsthand, and so and also with their young minds, they are ready to create, to innovate. They can be able to develop and come up with very valuable solutions that can be able to solve the mining challenges in the tech base, and also even to the communities and the people living within the communities as well. I'm very, very satisfied with the number of participants because I'm a STEM advocate and also tech women and fellows. So we are going all out to schools to get them young, to get the girls young into STEM fields, so that they don't feel intimidated that it's all the boys that can do mathematics or engineering or even data analysis, data mining, or even to participate in hackathons. That is not a boys' game, but that also even girls can also be involved, and they can even do better if given the opportunity.
I believe this project we are talking about, community innovation, will have a lot of impact, a lot of connection with projects of this nature. So if you be fortunate to be the ones grabbing those opportunities, remember those skills that we have highlighted here. And those things will be very helpful to shape the work that you do. This is just some of the community engagement that we did. How did we succeed? We succeeded by having a community youth center program. And when we did that, we did rapid assessment. We did an inception meetings. We just did not go and just enter those communities and just start talking and just start saying, we'll bring up a project for you. But this is exactly what we did. The project was implemented through community participatory process, where young people are the co-designers and leaders of their own livelihood. So we went to them, we asked them, how can we do this? By bringing those ideas, we had to come back to IFC and Sierra Leone to shape some of the things that they request for in the rapid assessment. When we do that, we have equal opportunities to learn or acquire skills. Community engagement and ownership of projects support higher success rates in the project of itself. What we also did was community sensitization on youth issues. We engaged them. There were many issues they brought in the communities. When we engage them, when you have a dialogue with young people, you will know the problems of young people. What we also did to succeed, learning by doing. And on this project, we engaged 50 young people. 50 young people in the Rutile community. And those 50 of them, we had 27 of them being male and 23 of them being female. When we engage them into various skills. And these approaches were learned both through classroom and practical sessions. How did we also succeed? Apprenticeships and registration of groups. By the time we finished the project, we said, you know what? Identify yourself by the various areas that you want to function. So we had to support them to register. You know, many times, young people are being neglected in societies because they don't have possibly the right materials to work with. They probably do not have the capacity. They might put several laws on them. You are not registered. Your organization is not functioning. So what we did was to support them, have a certificate, have a constitution, and link them to also the district councils in those locations. So it helped them be recognized in their community. And I think projects of this nature, we're talking about community innovation challenge, could also focus on those kind of things, of working with existing networks in those communities to support young people in their work. The next thing we did was to link them to businesses so that entrepreneurship opportunities were introduced to them. In some of the trainings, we would encourage the guards to bring their daughters, their sons, their children. We had a separate place and separate person was there to take care of the children while they were learning. Those are innovative ways you can walk around when you work with young people. This is exactly what we have for you for Plan International. And we want to say thank you very much for the amazing job you are doing. And these are just some of the other work we are doing with young people in ICT, the benefits we do with ICT. And these are some of the amazing jobs we are doing with young people. And how we are doing this, we are working specifically with young people. And we call them to co-design this program with us.
I'm Osman Lahai. I am the Communities and Social Development Manager for Sierra Leone Limited. I'm here representing my department, the Social Development Department of Sierra Leone. As I said in my presentation, Sierra Leone is very active in social development. There's so many things we're doing to support the community, scholarships, we're doing clinics, we're doing health centers, we're doing agriculture, we're funding agriculture, we're funding so many things. So if we have a platform where we can share that information, you know, the company will be very, very happy with that. So that is what one of our challenges, trying to get out to the community and also to the country at large what we do on a regular basis. Sierra Leone is always partnering with organizations. We have a lot of partnership with GIZ, we have a lot of partnership with IFC. We have an open door policy. If we know that there's anything layer of technology that will bring dividend to Sierra Leone will look at it.
Now, I've been in Sierra Leone a little while, and I hear a lot that young people are not interested in farming. They're not interested in agriculture. They want to move to the city. They want to work in banks. They want to drive Okadas. They want to be computer program engineers. When we talk about the mining communities, in large parts of Sierra Leone, they don't have too many other options to feed their family. Farming is it. Farming is what they can do, and farming is what they know. So when you're thinking about innovations to develop Sierra Leone, as our keynote speaker said, you really also have to think about innovations that will help the majority of the population, not just the people that live in the cities, but the people that live in the villages. The other thing is, as a visitor to Sierra Leone, I'm amazed by how much beautiful land you have all over the country. This country is beautiful. And much of your land is not being used. Sierra Leone has enough land to feed every person in this country. And yet we haven't been able to do that yet. So you, as the next generation, are going to help us find that solution to make sure that every family has 3 meals a day and has food for everybody in that family, that nobody goes hungry. This particular project, Save the Children, it's funded by the collaboration between Sierra Rutile and IFC. It's almost about a 2-year project. It's coming up to an end in a couple of months. And it talks a little bit, it speaks to community engagement and social responsibility, youth employment, a little bit, and equal opportunity for women and girls in mining communities. So we've talked a little bit about that as well. Our project is not a high-tech solution. I think the biggest thing we do is our farmers have a WhatsApp group on their phones. Everything else is tools, land, and people. What we try to do, we're trying to improve agricultural production for smallholder farmers. That's fancy words for just enabling farmers to produce more so they can feed their families and they can sell the crops to earn more income. We also want them to have better access to local trade opportunities. So they grow their crops. Can they get their crops to the market? Can they sell their crops in the market? And then again, improved opportunities for women in commerce and leadership. 50 household farmers, and that's all. 6 communities, 181 people. It's a very small project, but we're hoping that what we learned from that project can be repeated in other areas. So this is just our project. Our project is working with farmers to farmers. We have trained 31 farmers, we call them lead farmers, in what we call improved farming techniques. Maybe how to plant better kinds of fertilizing, how to space your crops, what tools to use, all kinds of different ways to improve your farming, so that at the end of the day, you have more crops, you have better crops. You have food that you can use to feed your family, and food that you can also use to sell in the market. There are management committees for each of the processing machines, and they're at least 30% women, because we said we want to improve women's participation in decision-making in the community. We've also started village savings and loan groups. So I think some of you know what they are. People put together their savings, and over time, it builds up so they can use that savings to invest in business. I'm really excited to see so many young women in this audience. And I'm just like all the other speakers, I'm excited to hear and to learn what you guys come up with. I know you have some great ideas for Sierra Leone. You are the next generation of Sierra Leone. So our future and your future is in your hands, but I'm sure it's in good and capable hands. For the women especially, don't let the men talk over you, and don't let them try to silence you. You have very strong ideas, and make sure those ideas are heard and come to the table. So thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Melissa and I'm a journalist. I think innovative ideas like this is very important to create a resource management like events like this, because it educates people, especially young people, and it tells them what to do, especially in the mining areas, because there are a lot of people who are not educated, but they're young, so they're working in that sector. So I feel like events like this are really, really resourceful. I am impressed, beyond impressed, because when I came in and I saw a lot of females, I was like, wow, because that's what we need. We need female equalities. We need that 50-50% gender equality. So seeing women participating as much as the men are, it's really a well done job.
All right, so thank you very much for coming. We look forward to have you some other time.
Thank you so much.
I believe today that Wi-Fi as a household name now is a practical showcase of why we are here today. Wi-Fi is a community-based organization of which I am the founder and executive director now. As a young woman, I do understand the social impact of mining on women in the mining communities. That was my first assignment, and I work towards that. I am here to present on gender issues and women empowerment in mining communities. We do understand the issues, the emerging issues. At Sierra Leone level, we know that teenage pregnancy is so prevalent in the country. We know that child marriage and domestic violence are prevalent issues. Mining companies are fast-growing entities that encourages different sets of people from all over the world to the mining operational communities. We do all agree to that. And most of these men who move around seeking employment from mining companies are using our young women, are using women to provide them social services. And most of these women who face these prevailing issues are women who are not much educated about the dangers of what GDP is. And these are women who likely depend on men for their livelihood support. What are the drivers or factors responsible for the prevailing gender issues in Sierra Leone? What are they? Lack of correct information and knowledge. And so therefore, I want to thank IFC and Sensi Hall today for bringing young people, young women from all over the country to witness and be partakers of the experiences that we are sharing here today. Engaging in mining operations is not for everybody. Mining cannot provide job for every citizen in a mining operational community. But yet, we still see the mining companies as everything. And therefore, because we lack access to innovation, to skills, poverty is the order of the day within the mining community, which also is a driving factor for us to face a lot of these social challenges. We all know as women in the house, our cultural norms and values debar us from getting access to assets that belongs to us. Understand the issues of the day, analyze them in your own understanding and apply them. See as whether this can help my community. That was what I did as a young woman. And today, that is the reason why I am now called a director and not an employee. And I think each and every young woman in this house can do likewise or more than me. Women are far, far left behind simply because they are not economically empowered. Let me tell you, when I'm talking about being left behind, this is not only not being employed in mining companies, because I personally know that it's not every woman that can be employed into mining companies because these are industrial jobs. And sometimes it's very much rigid for women. They are very much hard for women. But most of the time, they are left behind even in decision making. We brought the initiative of soap making for adolescent girls in our community because we feel like empowering them economically so that they cannot be totally dependent on those men who are coming in to work. Let me tell you, for every mining worker who is going there to work, have a family behind. And so that was the trick that we used to change the mindset of our young girls in the community. As Sierra Leoneans and Africans, I want to believe that we are still looking at GBV issue, gender-based violence, as a culture of silence. Nobody should talk about it. It's an impunity. We do it and we are scot-free. Gender-based violence is a bringing factor for underdevelopment. Where there is violence, there are no investors. Women and girls lack access to basic services like employment and livelihood skills. So that is the reason why we see ourselves as being more vulnerable, because we lack those knowledge. I have a question to discuss, maybe not now. What are the best practices that communities can do to reduce gender-based violence? That is the question for all of us here. And I think that could be a food for thought. But I want to believe that as young people, we have to read, we have to analyze, and we have to apply the knowledge that we gain from our different institutions, and not to wait until everything is wrong. It's right. Thank you so much.
I think Mohammed did a pretty good job of explaining what is a hackathon. Why hackathons work? Why do we even do this? What's the point? Why is this a technology, and why does it work? In fact, I want to go on and say, what makes a great hackathon? Because I already know. How many people check that box said, yes, I have an idea, I'm coming with an idea? Raise your hand. You said yes. Yeah. You know, that wasn't how we decided who to include. We want people who have ideas, and we want people who have completely open minds. That's how you do a hackathon. You mix a bunch of different kinds of people together. I'll get to that. Many of you said that you were coming here to participate in this hackathon from outside Freetown. If you have your hand up, just give me one by one, take a turn, and tell me where. Which region, where did you come from? Just say it out. Lusa. Kabbalah. Kono. Moyamba. Kenema. Continue. All right. All kinds of different places. Isn't that amazing? What do you hope to get from participating? And a lot of you said, learning. I want to learn something. A lot of you said, I want to meet somebody interesting. A question, a problem, something's bothering you. You think about, I have an idea. I know how to do something about this. And then you sit by yourself for hours and hours, maybe 10 years, and finally you have something that solves a problem that you think you understand, with a solution that you think will work. And then maybe if you find out 10 years into the project, somebody will come to you and ask you a simple question like, why didn't you do it this way? And you're like, oh, I should have asked somebody a long time ago. Why do hackathons work? Because when you put 100 talented, creative, passionate, young people together in a room and you tell them we have a problem, you're going to see that problem from all different kinds of perspectives. And the beautiful thing about a hackathon is it's brainstorming. There's no such thing as wrong. Nobody's going to judge you here. Not even the judges. This isn't about how smart you are or how fast you can build an app. It's not about that. It's about how well you can understand a problem, how open you are to different approaches to that solution, and how well you can collaborate with other people who are interested in solving the same problem and agree with you that that's a good way to do it. We had 10 speakers, more than 10 speakers. Each one had a slightly different perspective on the challenges facing mining communities, things I never thought about, hopefully things that you have to consider. All kinds of things come up, all kinds of things will continue to come up This afternoon, we're going to talk about ideas for how to address some of these challenges, some of these problems. What can we do with technology or with community or with social networking, or it's up to you, actually. We're probably going to have, I'm looking at the room, we're going to have 15, maybe more, different presentations for the judges to consider. All of them, some of them may be treating the same challenge, but all of them will have a little bit of a different perspective on the problem and ideas for how to address it. And when you think about someone like World Bank, or PHP Foundation, or DSDI or NMA, and they think, well, we've done all this research, we think we know the problem, we're sure there's a problem, we think we understand it, but we don't know how to do it, we don't know how to do this. Let's get some people together to help us through, let's puzzle through how we're going to do this. So that takes me to what makes a hackathon great. I just mentioned you have these sponsors, World Bank. You know how they've done so much research. They have people going out into mining communities and interviewing and analyzing and surveying and looking at demographic data, figuring out what all the problems are, and prioritizing them and having meetings, and then at the end of the day they say, good, okay, we think mining communities, the social challenges facing mining communities is an important problem in this country, and we're going to put money there to figure out how to solve this problem. And it's just one of many. You know, they have food programs and education programs, and it goes on and on and on. We're talking about mining. They put all that time and energy into understanding the challenge so that they can give you a list of 6 things to think about. But they actually don't always know how to put the tools together and how to reach the users and get people to understand why it's a good thing and not be afraid of it. That's why they do this. They come to you. So that's the breakout sessions. Tomorrow and Thursday morning is all about building stuff. And it's not only apps, and it's not only data sets, it's also a pitch. What are you actually going to say to the judges? We'll get to that again, coming to that. But it's important that the team, and Mohammed said this, you don't want a team that's just 5 programmers. I've seen it so many times. They're so talented, and they build such great apps, so fast. 2 days, boom, they have something working. And then they stand up here in front of the judges, and it's like, nobody can understand what the heck they built. Rehearsing. Stand up, and we're going to have coaches, mentors, people who have heard 100 pitches, 1,000 pitches. You just pull them aside, go into one of the side rooms. You say, okay, here we are. This is the team. I'm going to start. I'm going to say the idea. This is the business person in the team. She's going to tell you why we're going to make money. And this is the tech person, and they're going to tell you how we built it. Here's the data person. She's going to tell us what we used to build this and what we still need. Here's the PowerPoint, and by the way, this is the person who's responsible for that part of it. But you need to rehearse that. You need to practice that a bit so that it's smooth. And again, it's not about judging you. The judges are not judging you. The judges are looking at the work, the idea, how closely it comes to solving a problem there. Okay. What do you get? Well, the judges are going to select 5 winning teams. those 5 winning teams don't actually get anything right away. They get a piece of paper that says they won. Okay, but they get more training and some money over that training period. It's around 6 weeks. It's not every day. It's not like school. Okay? But it's money and it's learning, access to experts, it's further development of your project. It's a chance for the team to stay together and work out how they may be able to stay together even longer. Then at the end of that, we're going to all come back together, just like we're doing here, with the 5 teams and some judges. And the 5 teams will get a chance to present again. The work, the idea, the work they've done in that 6-week period, and the judges are going to select 2 teams. And I hope you already know this because I sent it to you in an email. The winning team, number 1, they're going to get a prize pack. They will receive a prize package worth $2,000 US. I don't know if you've been watching the US dollar lately, but that's a lot more than it was a month ago when we were supposed to have this happen. And the second team will get a prize package worth $1,000 US. And more importantly, in my opinion, that sounds great, how hackathon ideas form. Okay, so the very first thing you have to do is understand the challenge. Really understand the challenge. So understand the challenge, propose a solution, and then assemble a team. So really what I'm looking for are about 3 people. Somebody who's a developer, somebody who can tell me if my idea is even going to work in a mining community, because I don't know. It sounded good to me, but what do I know? And I need somebody with communication skills because I'm not going to write that PowerPoint. I don't know color. I don't do that. You know, I'm a business guy. Qualifying as a hackathon team. After lunch, we're going to do this ideation and team formation. And when you have a team that's aligned around an idea, you're going to take one of these. It's not in your packet. It's a different form. You're going to give us some more details about who's on the team, what tools you're going to use, how it's going to work, what data you're going to use. Okay? And you'll take this to me, or Mohammed, and we will register the team. The objective for this afternoon is for the team to come up to the front of the room with a completed team registration form. All right. If you have an idea burning in your brain, it should take you about 1 minute to fill out this form. It's for you. You're not going to give it to me. It's for your own notes, for your own use. All right? I'm going to invite you to come up here. I'm going to give you a minute or 2 just to tell us what information you put on your form. Everybody's going to listen, and hopefully you'll find some people in the room who really like your idea, think you are a good person that they want to work with, they think that they would be a good fit on your team, and we can start to do some networking in here.
Just before we start hearing the ideas of people, it's very, very important, I'm stressing this, that you network and don't be fixed in your teams. I actually want to see this process, I want to see people talking to people, because one of the emphasis about these events is networking. It's crowdsourcing as a methodology, meaning you just take a bunch of random people from different walks of life, you have them in the room, and you have them mix and let their brains connect to different people and then form teams. Right? Ideas is not just what we're looking for, it's solutions. Remember that. Solutions that are addressing the challenge, that are practical, that you have something by the end of the 3 days to showcase. Okay? Something that is commercially viable, something that has potential to scale, something that is feasible in the real world. Remember that. These 3 days is not just going to end with you giving us a presentation. It's going to end with you giving us an example, a prototype of what it is that you've addressed, the solution. Okay?
Let's hear some ideas for how we can help these struggling mining communities, the social challenges, the economic challenges, all the things you've heard about, you've been thinking about. Who's first? Ready? Come on.
A week ago or some months ago, when Sensi, the organizers, and all other people involved in this programming, they sent us an email. So I started to think about what are the things that this might be limited, because we know since we are here, we are going to meet other people, we will brainstorm more. But I was just thinking about Challenge 1. Challenge 1 talks about community engagement and social responsibility. Because when you talk about community engagement and social responsibility, you think about stakeholders coming together. It might be at local level and national level, because each and everyone have a part to play.
The problem that I want to solve is how we could able to transform the things that are destroying our environment to make them into something that we can use to better our livelihood. Like, for example, like plastic. How we could able to make plastic waste into a usable product that we can use to build house, that we can use to create employment, that we can use to sustain our livelihood. So I need people like, for example, like web designers. I need youth who are skills youth, for example, like carpenters, masoners, and I also need entrepreneurs. As for me, I'm also a social entrepreneur, so we can blend the two ideas together. So I'm also looking for data analysts, people who can be able to collect information, go into the community, collect raw data and bring it together so we can put the ideas together.
Presently, while I'm here, I'm just talking, let me just take the challenge. I want to take the challenge of community. There's one thing I can take first, the community, there's a challenge. The secondly, if we talk about the background, there are people when I'm going to really work with in the background, like the communication, mining, community. But if I can take one thing on the background, I'll just take mining community at the background.
Which challenge?
What?
Which challenge?
The challenge is community.
Community.
At the background, I would take a mining community at the background. They told me, who am I looking for? I'm actually looking for what? Somebody know much about the communication. That is one thing. Then I need data analyst person. I need that person. Then I actually need mining community as a whole. Mining community as a whole. Then after that, what am I looking for? The outline of the ideas.
Challenges you. Background is development. Looking for communication, ideas. We have a lot of youth in mining community. Because there is no good communication to them, they can't improve their skill. Because they thought fit that the mining is in their own houses, so they can't look for anything to improve their skill. They just depend on the mining, which is the mining we earn as any time. But when you improve on your skill, it can help you a lot in that community.
I do look at challenge 3, which talks about youth employment, and basically being a youth advocate. I believe in working with the youth and also participating in anything about youth empowerment. And the outline idea actually I looked at and as a team is building a quick youth response engagement that will change the concept of youth in mining areas. And we may not just look at it as a mere concept, rather we would have to look at it as a hub, wherein the youth in these mining areas will be capacitated, and that hub will be actually capacitating this youth towards making them useful to their communities.
My idea is gender equality in mining sectors. So as I was saying, I really want to focus on that after listening to Wifey, because she actually triggered an idea in my head to build an app. And also I'm a graphic designer, which I'm familiar with all the Adobe softwares. So I would like to build an app or website where girls and women are able to complain when being harassed in mining sectors. Some of them ain't able to talk to people. So you might as well just have a live chat with one of women representing every woman in every mining areas. So I would like to also empower like different girls to go around different communities, mining communities, to educate them about being harassed. Because normally some women actually don't even know they're being harassed. So it's better to create something like that. Because sometimes I feel more relaxed talking to strangers than talking to someone really close to me. So we might as well just develop an app where you can have a live chat with someone and complain your issues, and those people will be located in different mining sectors where you can just contact them without your identities even being shown. So currently I'm looking for a team, because right now I can only serve as a web developer and mobile developer. So I need a programmer, I need an entrepreneur, I need all the above. Thank you.
Our challenges there is community and youth. On the background of mining community, therefore we are looking for a business person, a mining community, and data analyst. We want to use the quiet waste management in the mining sector in order to avoid environmental degradation, also to avoid flooding, because some of those mining areas, because of waste management, the mining places, they have to be flooded, and they will not allow people to do their mining.
Considering the fact that mining affects agriculture, our idea is to introduce smart agricultural integration into mining communities, which will help provide employment for women and empower young people in the communities. With this idea, we will actually develop greenhouse farming activities into mining communities, in which women and youth will actually be able to cultivate agricultural products and market their products. We will do this by developing a mobile application which indicates to the farmers every information which will be geared towards propelling their farming activities, and also connect the farmers to the urban customers in a sense that will propel food security in the mining communities and Sierra Leone as a whole. As it is now, I am the only person on the team. I would need a web developer and a mobile application developer who would actually propel the idea until the day when we pitch the idea. Thank you.
Our problem, our challenge here will be like a community, because each and every one of us has a responsibility. Mind you, someone from the speaker, someone was talking about having the right. Equally so, you have the responsibility, because rights go with responsibility. So as a community, what are our rights? What also our own responsibility? And how can we work as a team so that we can achieve as a community?
The challenge that I want to attempt to solve, it's based on youth. So we want to work as miners, some of us. And some of us, we want to give people jobs, but like we don't know if they can really do the job. So, my solution is creating a video learning platform where people can go and learn ways or new hacks how to perform mining activities. Not just how to perform mining activities, but also you can learn safety tips like how to handle, let's say, cobalt without endangering yourself, right? So, and the platform, it won't just, you just go there and learn videos, like do videos and learn things. You also like, it's optional, you can create a profile, like a biography about yourself, inputting like your past health records, like what you do. Like not everybody in the mining sector are miners. Some are drivers, some are, some are mechanics. Like you just know what you know, and then that information can be shared to mining companies that are looking for recruitment, right?
I have interest in one of the challenges, which is key because I did suffer from it during my industrial attachment, which is health and safety. It's something that is so difficult for us as citizens in Sierra Leone to solve. And the mining communities present a worst case scenario. Of course, access to medical doctors is not easy. Even for you as a worker in the mining industry, when you to access doctors, it takes a lot of queue. So my problem solving will be how to improve on the health of the community people and the mine workers without visiting a medical doctor, but using easy technology, and also easy problem for them to visit an expensive doctor by using technology. One, we identify easy diseases, aftermath of mining, and also ongoing mining activities in the community.
Our idea is to use IoT and machine learning, and we will probably be trying to use ESP32 to leverage on tiny ML, using Python, and probably C++. So we already have somebody who is an entrepreneur, we have somebody who has knowledge about mining and communication. So we are actually looking for somebody who has experience or knowledge working with C++ or some knowledge in Python.
I am proposing a solution to financing transparency and economic advantage. We want to develop a platform for the community people because they are the depressed in this whole scenario of mining we are talking about. So that platform would be a two-in-one platform. The first section would be information sharing. For instance, if mining companies have paid their surface rent, they've paid all the taxes they are supposed to as their operational protocols, community people will be able to log into the platform and know that they have paid this tax and this is the recipient of the tax, whether it's the paramount chief or whether it is directly going into the Chief of Development Fund account. Then from there, the another section would be a complaint section. Of course, that section would be like a form filling with series of trees representation of the actual data they want. If you want to make complaint on that they have not paid surface rent, we have a section for that. You just check, I'm reporting on surface rent, they have not paid for this month. After filling the data, you submit it, the data will be transferred to the server of the companies or the parties that are responsible for, enacting, taking responsibility if those things have not happened. But we are looking forward for developers, not one, developers, and as well we we need a communication person, and as well we need somebody that have experience about those mining communities. And as well we need an entrepreneur. Thank you very much.
If that sounds like something, an idea you would like to work on, and if you want to talk to these two guys who are already starting a team together, find them, network with them, discuss, let's see if it's going to work.